Testing. One, two, three. Testing. Testing. One, two, three. Testing. How y'all doing out there? Y'all good? Let me give a few minutes so we can get some people in the stream. I'm gonna run my mouth. Talk about this Tyler Perry situation. What a wonderful day out here today. Loving this weather. It's about 70, feel like it's about 78 degrees, 79, somewhere in that neighborhood. You know, wonderful North Florida. I got no complaints. At least about not any complaints about being here, enjoying my life. Look like it's got a bit rate issue going. Let me see if I can fix that. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can fix that now since I've already started the stream. Connection is good, so I'm not gonna trip. Anyway, what y'all doing? I'm chilling, so hey. What y'all think of the thumbnail? I've been using a new thumbnail software, new thumbnail app. See how that goes. I'm trying to build it as I fly it. So, if it look like trash, it is what it is. So it is what it is. Anyway, let's talk about this Tyler Perry situation. Well, Tyler Perry was on a talk show a couple days ago, and he was talking about more or less because you have black women earning more money, that some of them are going to have to, in order to get what they want, mostly what they want anyway, because nobody gets everything they want, but to get mostly what they want in a man, they're going to have to accept a man that makes less, to the point to where if he could pay a light bill, but he's got all these other qualities. He's loyal. He's good at doing stuff around the house, different things like that. And he loves you. He loves the woman. Then that's a good catch. And it's really consistent with a lot of his movie themes. If you think about it, Tyler Perry. He makes a lot of movies where you'll have a rich guy, but he's a jerk. But you'll have some blue collar guy that, you know, he's kind of like the, he's the good NPC of the Tyler Perry movie. What up, Jinky Show? How you doing, man? Yeah, bro, they want it their way, and we're gonna get to that. Um, Well, upon seeing this, members of the gynocracy got upset. They there's a lot of talk about why they have to settle, a lot of questioning why they have to settle, a lot of commentary on social media where this is talked about. Women were not too happy and stuff because they want what they want. And I understand that everybody wants what they want. Everybody has their list of things that they want. And, you know, most people, especially women nowadays, are taught not to settle. And black American women are no different. So that's understandable. The problem is, the problem is that if you look at the set asides and the promotion and the who's benefited the most from affirmative action behind white women, because white women have benefited the most, it would be black women. Um, they tend to benefit from affirmative action the most. So, you know, as I said before, a lot of them were upset, and their response is, "Well, these men they need to do better and stuff." Well, when you have a system that is decidedly set against you, and this is not just me saying it, this is you even have white Americans going back to the what was it the Moynihan paper that pretty much talks about this. So the thing is that what Tyler Perry said, it makes sense and it is a solution. It is a solution, you know, and it being a solution, it goes back to my title, which is they don't really want solutions. Black people, black Americans in general, don't really want solutions. What they want is to be told something that sounds good and that makes them feel good in the present. So it's a lot of what do they call presentism with that. So they don't want solutions. They're not looking for things to build a better future. They want to feel good now. So that's what you have. That's why I don't engage. I don't engage in all of that solutions talk. I think it's ridiculous. I think there are plenty of solutions out there for people that are asking for solutions, but they don't want solutions. You know, the whole this country is racist and all of that stuff, and we're being hunted, all of that nonsense. The solution to that is leaving. The solution to that is becoming an expat and going to other places. But the vast majority of black Americans don't want to hear that. They want a hug from Zaddy. They want a hug and a pat on the head from Zaddy. I always call them the redheaded stepchildren. And, the solution is to, uh, go somewhere else, start your own stuff, uh, and become your own country, like what was what was proposed with Liberia back in the days. The majority of the people that heard about it, they didn't want to go to Liberia. They wanted to stay here. They want to be as close to Zaddy as possible. You know, Same thing with Belize in Jamaica, which are other places they sent black Americans. Dominican Republic, um, which not a lot of people know, but there's an area in Samana where you have the Samana Americans. These are the descendants of 800 black people that left. I want to say Philadelphia, and they moved to the Dominican Republic. You know, the offer was put out from the president of what was then, when the entire island was Haiti. The president of what was then Haiti made an offer to black Americans to move to the island, and only 800 people went. And this was in the late 1800s. I want to say like maybe right after, sometime after 1883. So you have that. Now, um, yet again another solution. Um, you know, so as I said before, it's not about solutions. It's about, the only solution they want is to be made to feel good. Now, getting back to the main topic of this video, um, with women starting to make more money, with the incomes and stuff starting to really even out and stuff. What Tyler Perry said, in my opinion, it was a sensible solution. And the thing about it is, when you really look at it, what he said, when you take into consideration the fact that fathers are needed in homes, children tend to do better when the father is in the home and involved. And even with single fathers, the homes of single fathers the children tend to do better. To me, this would be a no-brainer. Um, you have situations where you have a woman, she's making well over 100,000, maybe two, close to three, even more. Um, and you know she finds a guy, or she comes across a guy that he makes nowhere near that type of money, but he's a good guy, and he is willing to do all of the things that she likes. He's willing to basically be her pet male. um, the logical thing would be to give it that man and start a family. In my opinion, they don't want to do that. This goes back to another thing I say about modern women in general. What they want is an accessory. They want akin to their Barbie. They want a Stedman to their Oprah with black women. They want a Stedman to their Oprah, and they want this guy with the 3 6s. They the handsome devil. Good looks, 6 feet tall, 6 inches of meat, 6 figure salary, 6 figure income. At least that's what they want. You know, they're not going to get that um, with most of the men out here. And for the men that have that, he's got a lot of options. That's where the 80-20 rule kicks in. 80% of the people, 80% of the women want 20% of the men. And it's really, you can look at that in reverse with men as well, which is a lot of the problems with men, even to the point of it's a lot of the incel problem. But getting back to the subject of this video, you know, um, a lot of these women may come across a guy, he doesn't make that much money, but he might know how to put that work in the bedroom. He might know how to put that work in around the house. He may be good at cooking, fixing stuff. He may be good with children, great with children, different things like that. To me, it's a good trade-off. You know, but again, they want that status. They want that Mercedes Benz of men. The problem is, everybody, all the women want that Mercedes Benz of men. So it's a tough one. You know, let's talk about this settling thing. You know, you had women saying that, asking the question, why do they have to settle? It's like, you know, it's funny to me because most guys are settling for the women that they encounter, especially in Black America. And y'all not gonna like that. Well, the gynocracy is not gonna like that. But the fact is, most of the men they come across are settling in some respect because, especially in this day and age, with dating and mating being global, these women don't understand that they're being settled for. Even though when they go on dating apps, they learn real quick that they're not the first choice. They learn that real quick. So the thing is, you're dealing with women that are overweight, bad attitudes, kids, divided attention, different things like that. You know, that man is settling. Most men are settling. You know, so it's funny that they would say that, that they're settling when in reality they're being settled for as well. And now where you have a situation where women are increasingly becoming the breadwinners, you gotta, you know, you want to be modern, then you gotta adjust with modern times. Men and women. This is a problem with why I don't particularly, you know, agree with a lot of TradCon stuff because those TradCon ideas tend to put men at a disadvantage. It sets them up to be scammed by modern women. And so men have to adapt. Getting back to the whole, going back into the point about adapting is that, you know, women, again, if you make a lot of money, you know, it's a good idea to have a parent at home. So if you got this, this career that, this business that you're generating all this money and the kids need someone at home to ensure certain things are being taught to the kids, you may have to have a house husband. What's up, Detroit 313? Nice to see you here, man. Hey, y'all, do me a favor, hit them likes, man. I got one like. Y'all tripping. Hit them likes, man, so I can get in the algorithm eventually. You know, Detroit 313 brought up a good point. He said most of them want to settle with a white man. I guess you're saying it don't matter if he's poor or average or rich. We're going to get to that point. That's a good point. Um, if you look at the Department of Labor statistics for the last time I looked at it was for 2021, and it showed that 73% of all white American women work outside the home. 73% of all white American women work outside the home. So what does that mean? What that means is that that family needs more than one income to uh, to be stable. There's more than one income needed in that household to make that household run as uh, good as possible in a financial sense. So if 73% of all white American women are working outside of the house, um, what it tells me is that number one, the whole Miss Ann thing where, you're the woman is a stay-at-home wife, the husband's going off working, making all the money, and the wife is a stay-at-home wife is a farce. It is a dream. It is largely make believe. You know, what it also tells me is that um, that that money has to go somewhere. You know, that men are not making enough money to keep a woman at home. My thing to Black American women, who is a much smaller population than white American women, what makes you better than them that you can expect a man to make all of this money and keep you at home than white American women? You know, what makes you better? Thank you for hitting the like button, Detroit 313. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. So, again, what makes Black American women better than white American women? When 73% of all white American women in 2021 or 2022 work outside the home. You know, um, this whole he got to meet me at my level. That's not a financial thing. That is a culture and values thing. When women say that, a lot of that comes from the irresponsible preaching of the prosperity gospel that is popular today from people like Creflo Dollar and stuff like that. It's dangerous because it's having women to expect a man to make as much or more than them, when the truth is most black women only make $35,000 a year, according to the Department of Labor. You know, so there's not that many women, black women, that make over 100,000. Make six figures and over. Most of them are just getting by. Most men make between 43 and $47,000 a year. Black men, I think, make 43. White men make 45 to 47. So that's the average. What makes you better than that man? And if you are a woman making over six figures, the majority of men you're going to come into contact with are going to make somewhere on the low end 38,000, on the high end 65, 70. You're not settling if that's the standard. You're not settling if that's pretty much the standard. Stop fooling yourselves. But hey, I'm just me. You know, you continue to going out there and deal with what's out there. you know, you continue to deal in your delusion, and it is what it is. So. It's pretty much, you know, what I wanted to talk about. It's interesting looking at this stuff on like Twitter and Facebook, stuff like that. It's funny because you can look, you can kind of tell who has that kind of money, and it's mainly, these it's mainly a lot of chicks with these paper pushing jobs where, at the most they may make, 55, $60,000. You know, doing the most complaining. You know, it's like, nah, you better get with that guy that's making 45 or luckily 60, 70. Y'all put y'all money together and get it cracking. But they they ain't trying to hear that. And really, with a lot of women, they just like the argument. They just like the conflict. You know, it is what it is. You got people like that. They just want, they just like the conflict, you know. And those people, their minds will never be changed, you know, most likely. So it is what it is. I tell you what, to Detroit 313's comment, I did 20 years in the Army. And I did 20 years in a combat MOS and worked with a lot of country white dudes. And during that time, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of military guys, a lot of military white men. I'm not gonna say. I'll say probably just under a third, maybe date interracially. You know, because they're exposed to, you know, different places where they meet different women of different races and cultures. And you know, a lot of them Chads, hey, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of them be getting money up out of a certain particular. A lot of them, I'm gonna say it. A lot of them get a lot of they get money and stuff out of Black American women. It is what it is. You know, a lot of them get that money. You know, a lot of them get money and they get the three P's. You know, that kitty cat, money, and a place to stay. In the immortal words of Willie D. You know, they get the three P's up out of them. I've seen it. You know. Speaking of which, I've seen a lot of white guys, a lot of white couples that the woman made more than the man, and they still had a family that they made it work. In fact, one of my bosses back in the day, back in the early 2000s, his wife was she was a upper management for a chain of banks, and she made money. This dude was making about 75 grand a year. His wife was making, I want to say, like around 2004. She was in the 270s. You know, I know a cat right now. He's doing about 80, and his wife is, you know, she's knocking at 300,000. But they make it work. You know. I know a few guys that are disabled veterans. You know, that income is not that much. You know, and their wives are, you know, are making bread. Their wives are making bread, and they, you know, they make it work. You know. In fact, I know a surgical nurse. Now I think about it, I know a surgical nurse. Her husband is a stay-at-home husband. You know, he takes care of the house, takes care of the kids, does everything with the kids in the house, and she goes out and she makes the money. And they're doing just fine. They've been married, how old is at least 18 years. At least 18 years. Their oldest kid is 18 years old. And they've been married, they were married a little bit before she had the oldest kid. So, you know, and they're white, you know. So what's the problem? What's the problem, Queens? What's the problem? Y'all can't give it a man that makes less money than you. You can't give it a man. You can't have a house husband. You know. What's the problem? I don't know. What do y'all think the problem is, Jinky Show? What you think the problem is, bro? What you think the problem is, Detroit 313? Shout out to Detroit. I got a few relatives up there in the D. Yeah. I got a few cousins up there in the D. What y'all think the problem is, man? Put something in the chat. Detroit 313, he had an answer, you know, which, you know, I think that answer is highly relevant. What else you think it is, Detroit 313? You still there? Hmm. Yeah, man. Egos. You know, egos. Yeah. What you think is what? Why do you think that's the case, Jinky? Why you think that is, bro? You know, it it definitely could be ego. Um, you know, it definitely, um, it definitely. I think hypergamy is another one. You know, I think hypergamy, and I've said this a few times before. I don't have an issue with hypergamy until it gets in the way of being realistic. You know, no, I get it, bro. If you driving, man, hey, your safety is more important than you answering the question, bro. So, I mean, what you did is plenty. And listen, get to where you got to go, man. Don't worry about answering this question if you're driving. You know, I like you to come back when I do my next live stream. You know, I want all my supporters to may be safe. You know, so we got ego, we got hypergamy. Also, too, I said status. You know, everybody wants to be. Well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but most people want to be the one with the nice car. Most people want to be the one with the nice spouse or companion. Everybody want to be the one with the fly house. Everybody want to be. Well, most people want to be the one with the heavy bank account. So it's a status thing. You know, I believe status has a lot to do with it. You know, most people, there's a saying, people want to see you do good, but not doing better than them. Power hungry, yeah. That could definitely um, be it. You know, power and influence among their friends and family, or power and influence among the surrounding public. That can definitely be a factor. Yep. You know, I think all of that. I think all of that, and it is what it is. You know. Anyway, you know, Tyler Perry gave a solution. They didn't like the solution, so you know, it is what it is. You know, there's other things too. You know, that whole leadership talk. What's the point of being a leader if you have people that are determined not to follow? You have, you know, a population or subordinates that are determined not to follow, and you can't be a leader to people that are willing resistors. You know, that's a whole nother video. Anyway, so um, I'm pretty much done with this topic, but I'll probably come back and talk about this Jeezy and Jenny Mai situation because that one hit the news a few days ago, and other people have been talking about it, so I might have to talk about it myself. You know, that was a marriage that lasted every bit of 2 years, and I think one of the biggest factors that probably put them together to begin with was COVID. You know, so you know, thing about it is when people are stuck together and they're dealing with survival and companionship and stuff, it makes people you know put aside a lot of stuff that ordinarily they wouldn't when they have the freedom to move around. I'll talk about that later and stuff, but I'll probably end this. Yeah, I'm going to end this live stream, and I'll probably come back later. Let me see what I got to do. I got a few things to take care of. I got a showing at my rental property, you know. So we're gonna see how that goes, and after I take care of that and some other stuff, I'll probably come back. But other than that, y'all be safe. Thank you all for coming in. You know, if you haven't already hit the likes on your way out. This is Mr. Royce. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll hit you guys back later. Be easy.